Well, the Bible Belt here, we are in the midst of basically Protestantism. And to have the Iglesia ni Cristo here, it's like a really tiny David against not just one Goliath, but multiple Goliaths. I was about 9 years old. And at that time, I've never seen a house of worship before on the mainland like this. And at that time, this was huge. It looked like a cathedral.
In 1977, just 9 years after the church stepped foot onto the U.S., news of the first house of worship constructed from the ground up quickly spread.
And the church was, you can say, in its infancy at that time. To have a minority church that is unknown with the government, unknown with the neighbors, unknown in the community, to establish and build a house of worship like this with the nameplate that says Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ really says something.
Brother Raywell and his family, like many families living in Florida at the time, waited for years for this day, patiently traveling hours every week to attend worship services in the various halls and homes that served as the place of worship for the congregation of Jacksonville.
Well, there was no Church of Christ back then in Pensacola, and not having worship services, my parents, they longed for it. They needed it. And that is what gave them that energy to make that long drive and sacrifice back and forth, especially on the part of my father.
Today, more and more worship buildings continue to be added in the Church of Christ, and not just in new places. In the very city of the first house of worship built from the ground up, now stands 2 more Church of Christ worship buildings: Jacksonville, East Jacksonville, and the newest one dedicated in 2016, South Jacksonville.
Now you have congregations, 3 here in Jacksonville. In Central Florida, you have another half dozen. And not just Florida, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, the Caribbean. It's amazing to have seen that rapid growth from the 1970s when I was a kid, when I could finally understand. When I can finally understand, you're at that age, you're curious, you're understanding a lot of things. And to see that remarkable growth from that time until now is just amazing. And to be back where it started 40 years ago.
Today, Brother Raywell is now a minister of the gospel. And while he was still young in 1977, the experience has helped put the growth of the church in a unique perspective.
When God plans something, what He plans, He's going to make that happen, because He's the architect of the church.